Hi guys, hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily Thursday Thoughts. It's Des here, checking in after a busy bank holiday Thursday. Sounds strange, doesn't it? But I'm checking in with a live question and answers episode, looking to feedback on some of your questions, offer my thoughts and opinions, and let you know, of course, how things are getting on. It's nice to have this extra day. I've had a really good day, to be honest. I've been for a 18-mile walk through Nottinghamshire with the Do Running guys. So plenty of activity, plenty of walking. Feel really, really tired. You might be able to see. Got a bit of a brown face as well. The weather's been absolutely amazing. Felt tough, but after the busy period recently, everything that had gone off, it felt amazing to get out there and get some activity under my belt. And I always talk about the benefits of that, don't I? Especially when the sun's out, the sky's blue. Getting up early this morning was absolutely fantastic. Made the most of spending time with friends in a sort of calm and relaxed manner. And that's really sort of helped me just settle down a bit after these last couple of days. Of course, I've been talking about that whole experience with Wembley and sort of not stressing about it, but feeling sort of my emotions being thrown all over the place. And in the last couple of days, I've been talking about trying to come to terms with it. Today's been brilliant in helping me get to that point where I have come to terms with it. It's still really exciting, the prospect of what's going to come in the future. Premier League and watching Forest do so well and all those things. I could get into that very quickly all of a sudden. But it's just settled me down. That time out, it's something we do every bank holiday. Go on an epic walk. That sort of mileage is not something we can do every day. But meeting up at 7 o'clock this morning, it's not been long since we got back. So it's a long day, tough one. Quite tough terrain as well today. And with the heat, it made it feel particularly difficult. But the endorphins got flowing after a bit, and once the end's in sight, and we always finish in a pub. That's nice, and then we get to chat. Thankfully, they're sticking around as well. I mentioned last week here in Nottingham, I'm hosting a quiz at the running club base, so the guys are sticking around for that. With the fact that it's Bank Holiday Friday and nobody has to get up tomorrow, that's brilliant. So we're just going to extend the sort of, I wouldn't say celebrations because it's something we do a lot, but sort of revel in the achievements for that little bit longer and just enjoy what we're doing. And again, it's just another sort of way of reiterating how important activity is. We could just, in what other circumstance would we spend that much time together unless we were sort of putting one step in front of the other, powering through? And for me personally, it's great sort of base training for all the things I want to do. I've been speaking about that all week as well, and trying to get back to my routines, trying to get back to the things I need to do to get into shape, get into gear for the wedding, work on those plans, and again, work to the bigger plans without the football as a distraction, although I've got plenty of other distractions. This weekend, after today, I'm actually quite free. And that's amazing. Probably stop missing the football already because that's just the way I am. 1 or 2 football games I can catch up on, but quite free. So looking forward to that and looking forward to it, knowing full well I've been out there. I've been doing my thing. I've spent a lot of time with friends again, after last weekend, a different set of friends doing a different thing I love. It's brilliant just to know it's already in the tank. It's already done. Don't get me wrong, I'll be out doing more activity, getting some runs in, trying to build on that and get back into sort of full marathon training. But for today, that's just brilliant getting out there. Nobody can sort of mock 18 miles, whichever way you do it. So really, really pleased to have it in the bank. So all in all, as I always do on a Thursday, let you know how I'm getting on. That's been fantastic. And what's also making me feel great this week, after all those uneasy episodes, uneasy in the sense that it's not that easy to say. It's not that difficult for me now either. I'm quite comfortable in saying things that are quite deep, but uneasy in the fact that, do I get it right? Am I saying it and people aren't getting what I mean? I've had lots of really nice feedback as well, and that's been absolutely brilliant. Receiving those comments does me the world of good. Lots of people have said, I touched on this yesterday, lots of people have touched on is my mental health okay because I'm saying these things? It's absolutely fine. I know they're doing it for genuine reasons, but what I want to almost shout back, I'm just talking about mental health. I'm not talking about poor mental health for me or anybody's mental health in particular. I'm just talking about it. And this is the problem with it, isn't it? This is why I want to do daily. This is why I want to share the messages I am and try and explain how I'm feeling. Because as soon as someone does talk about it, everybody says there's a problem. Yeah, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to be honest, relatable, realistic. And of course, that's sometimes raw to get people understanding where I'm coming from and how just hearing somebody out at times or just hearing somebody that might have experienced something themselves can help us all. I have to listen to people. I have to listen to sort of podcasts and other motivational people because it's something I enjoy doing. But if we don't listen, we'll never know. So all in all, with those comments, with the activity today, with all that happened at the weekend, feeling absolutely brilliant, feeling tip-top and ready for the long bank holiday weekend. That's really sort of a nice thing, especially when the weather's great. How many times, especially in the UK, do we complain about bad weather on the bank holiday? If there's ever time to get out there, if there's ever time to get plenty of activity in, it's this one. I was going to say they promised it, but that doesn't mean much either, does it? But there is some sort of suggestion that there's going to be great weather. So again, I'm going to encourage you to get out, use it, use the blue skies, use the fresh air, use the water like I do around the river, and just be really positive about all the good things that are happening. There's one or two things in my life that aren't sort of straightforward, aren't brilliant. But I choose to kind of look over those to some degree. I'm not going to go into that too much because there is a question about that. So looking forward to sort of getting stuck into that. It's going to sort of not trip me up, but it's going to make me think because, again, trying to explain how I do things is not always straightforward for me. I'm getting out of my comfort zone here, but I absolutely love doing it. Even on a busy day where I've been on the walk, I've got a little bit of time to get this quiz sorted, I still got to get this in. I've got to do what I feels right and make sure I get my feelings out there, again, to help me sort of process everything, enjoy what I'm doing, and look forward to the next thing. So getting into the questions, I really appreciate everyone who sent one. I've got one from an anonymous contributor here, somebody who didn't really want to be mentioned. That's absolutely fine. What I always say, if you've got any questions and you're not willing to put your name to it, just send me a message, send me an email. All the social media is going across the bottom of the screen there. I'll show my email before the end. And that's fine, and I love this kind of question. It does make me think. It makes me sort of really sort of get my teeth into something again because I have to think of how it's worked for me. So the question here is, how do you deal with self-doubt and not let self-doubt get to you? The first thing I'll say on this, is for everything I do here, for the confidence I've built up in talking outwardly, in talking candidly, in talking about some of the deep issues, I still get so much self-doubt. And I think the first thing to realise with all this, and the first thing you have to try and do is realise that you do get self-doubt. Sometimes we wander through life, pushing things out the way, pushing doors open, pretending everything's okay. But when you kind of admit your insecurities, it starts getting easier from that point. It starts getting easier to deal with self-doubt and deal with whatever's in front of you. Because at the end of the day, there's always going to be a situation where we've got self-doubt. We're always going to question what we're doing. Every single day on DOdaily, I question myself in front of an audience. It's not the biggest audience in the world, but the people who tune in, I question what I'm saying, what I'm thinking. I always get told off from the people around me. You shouldn't say this. You shouldn't say, I don't get the message right, or I hope people understood, or all these things. But that is my little bit of self-doubt. But all I can do is work at that. So if there is an area, my next point, I guess, is if there's an area where there's some self-doubt, I just try and work at it. One of the reasons I started DOdaily, and it's not all about DOdaily, of course, it's in every walk of life, but one of the reasons I started DOdaily is because I wanted to become more confident. I wanted to, how can I put this, sort of speak more fluently at times, because I can when there's not a camera in front of my face, but to do the things I do, sort of speaking in front of people at the running clubs, encouraging, motivating, coaching, I wanted to be a bit more articulate in the message. And I'm probably better at that now than out of DOdaily than when I started, but it's still a little bit of an issue here. And I still put myself in front of the camera day in, day out, no matter how I'm feeling. I've done it when I've had some real sort of trauma in my life and drama, and when life sort of biting back a little bit, and I'll still put myself out there, try and be positive, because that's all we can do to get through the situation, isn't it? What we don't want to let happen is self-doubt manifest and become a real big issue. And I know that's easier said than done. Of course it is. But we've got to just sort of realize that self-doubt's okay. If we wasn't passionate about something, if we didn't care, it wouldn't be important, would it? So accept it's going to happen. We're all going to get nervous. I used to be extremely, extremely shy, and job interviews and things like that, I still feel because of that, it's held me back so much throughout my life. It might appear at times that I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing great things. I absolutely am. I've been saying how amazing things have been. But the reality is, it's held me back to a point where I've decided it's not going to hold me back anymore. It might, but I've got to do things to make it happen. And the only person that can change self-doubt is ourselves. So all we can do is work at the situation that doesn't make us comfortable. I'll just let you into, it's not a secret, but an example of this. The very first running group I did, I asked people to come along. I thought, it's going to be easy. Everyone will know what they're doing. But then because you're asking people to come to a running club, all of a sudden they want to be told what to do. The very first one I did, 40 people turned up, and I end up stood in front of them talking, saying, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. Never expected to do this brief. Sounds a little bit naive now, but when you're sort of doing things and not realizing, I end up as a shy person, as somebody who's quite quiet and reserved. Despite all this, I stood in front of 40 people and I was shaking, but I was getting the message across. And then people was coming up to me saying, that's brilliant. You've made us feel really at real ease and comfortable, and we know what we're doing, and thanks for putting this on. And all of a sudden the confidence builds, doesn't it? So again, it's just sometimes getting out your comfort zone to do what you have to do. Going back to the start of my running, people around me didn't accept that. For why? I don't know, but because I wanted to make a real change, because I was someone who needed to lose a lot of weight then, probably need to lose a similar amount of weight now. But back then I needed to lose a lot of weight. I did do it, and people then got a bit standoffish. And it gave me a bit of self-doubt, like, am I doing the right thing? But I was feeling fantastic. So what I had to do is realize that it's making me feel good. It's making me achieve things. It's putting a smile on my face. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. And again, when it comes to self-doubt, one thing you really, really have to do is just not worry what other people say. It's easier said than done, again, because I've been guilty of it. I'm still guilty of it now to some degree, but I'm so much better. I'm so much better at thinking, because I've done the things I do, it's impacted people's lives. Because I've done the things I do, I've met Kay. That's brilliant. That's changed my life completely. That's the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. So nobody can discredit anything, because once that's happened, I'm winning. I'm winning here, and that's all that matters. And again, because I do daily, I took a lot of flack for starting DOdaily because people were saying he's doing it for himself. I absolutely wasn't doing it for myself, but people was almost insinuating he's doing it for himself. He's not looking after us anymore. I'm just trying to help in a different way. It was all because of COVID. But because of those insinuations, you kind of question yourself and go, am I doing it for that? But again, it's led me to a different circle of friends, the football friends, because I've been on football-related YouTube channels and spoke about football openly. Then people asked me to come on because I've been on DOdaily and things like that. I've now picked up a little job on the back of that. So again, it doesn't matter what people think, does it? Because I'm actually in a better position than I was before I started DOdaily. It doesn't matter if I get 1 viewer or 15 million viewers, you know. I'll keep working hard to try and build this thing, but it's that self-doubt you kind of have to get over. And I think there's 3 things there, you know, not worrying what people say, you know, eyes on the prize with a big goal, you know, looking at the end goal, what you want to get for yourself. Because if you've got a goal or a target and you never reach it and you're never in touching distance of it, you know, that'll change when you get there. But if you're never in touching distance, there's no point. And also the first point I made there about accepting that we're all going to have it. You know, we're all going to have these moments. When I have these moments, I go out and I have a wander around the river, I do an episode of DOdaily, I talk to people, like give out the advice that I know's right, which I'm probably not taking my own advice. And then I go out and talk about it. And then all of a sudden I go, oh, well, I need to do that because I'm not feeling great. And so I'll go out for a walk, I'll go out and do this, I'll go out and do that. And hopefully that all makes sense. So good luck with that. You know, absolutely appreciate the question. You know, these are the type of things I really, really like. Of course, this is what DOdaily is about. A lot of chat without getting too deep into it, just a realistic approach. And hopefully I can show that. So I really appreciate that question. And thank you for doing it. You know, it takes, that's the first step almost with self-doubt, is asking the question. You know, so take the positive from that. Asking that question about self-doubt, somebody's obviously done that because they've got a little bit, but you've took the first steps in trying to address the situation. Whether I've said the right thing or the wrong thing, that's for the person on the other end to decide. But it's the first step in getting to where you need to be, because then you might go and look at somebody else's advice and take that, you know, and it's all about just finding whatever works for you. So again, thanks for the question. Really appreciate it. Question 2 was from Sam. What are your plans for the bank holiday weekend? I've touched on this already, haven't I? Kind of today I've been out for that walk and I've mentioned how quiet things are going to be. You know, there'll be plenty in there. Don't get me wrong. I'll have park run on Saturday. I've got wake up to walk, of course, first thing in the morning. So on my tired, aching legs, I'll be out there walking again. A good distance. I think it's about 10k, doing the vlog, wake up to walk, of course, and trying to get that out and reflect on the week and wrap it all up. And again, look forward to whatever's coming. I've mentioned it's going to be quiet. Look forward to that. Try and find a few jobs to do, which I need to tie up. And again, that'll make me feel better, won't it? Whilst it is a less busy time, I can make myself busy in tying a few loose ends up, and then feel better for that coming out of the weekend. So other than that, the running club, part one on Saturday, the running club on Sunday, start the day, attack the day, get it all right, and then just see how it goes. Got one or two wedding things to do on Sunday afternoon, measurements for suits, and meet up with the groomsmen and the lads at my end, you know, doing what we need to do there. So that'll be nice. But other than that, it's just going to be quite relaxed. No football. Bit of a shock to the system, that one, because it's taken so much time. But again, it means I can just focus on one or two other areas and not get too fed up without it there. Don't get me wrong, it won't be long before it does. So thanks for that question, Sam. Really appreciate it. And question 3, who do you want Forest to play first next season? Not bothered. Don't really like this question because it is what it is. But the biggest problem I've got with all this is I've got lots of plans in September. of course, the wedding. Got a couple of big running events, the Great North Run, the London Marathon at the start of October. So I'm dreading the fixtures coming out to some degree, because there's going to be some clash somewhere with a big game, and I just hope on the wedding day it doesn't clash with one or two fixtures. One I really want to go to more than anything is Everton. I was going to say I don't know why, but I absolutely do know why. Just it's the only ground in the top two divisions I've not been to, and they're looking at getting a new stadium in the next couple of years. And one of the reasons I'm kind of kicking myself is about 20 years ago, I had a ticket to go to Everton, and it's the only time it ever happened. And I don't know why. I've told this to one or two people recently, and I gave it away. I just offered it to a friend who wanted to go, and I'm like, I've never done that in my life, and I've never sort of not fancied going, and now I'd never give a ticket away. I was young, I don't know what was happening at the time, but something made me give this ticket away, and they won, and I missed it, and now it's the only ground. And as a bit of a football nerd, as a ground ticker, I've done quite a lot, about 80, I think. So there's this such thing as the 92 Club, where you try and tick all the grounds off. So I'm hoping to achieve that at some point. I'm not in a rush, don't get me wrong. It's not something I'm going out my way to do, but at some point I'd love to do it. So I guess Everton, first at Goodison Park, or just something at the City Ground to get back in there, because I know I've touched on it already, but probably already missing it. I didn't want the season to end. I love going up for the playoffs because it gave us the extended season. So I just want to get in there and enjoy that atmosphere. But like I say, I've got lots to work at in the meantime. So it's not too much of a bad thing. Really looking forward to what's happening. Kieran's left a comment there. How's it going, Des? Absolutely fine, mate. Absolutely buzzing. Thanks for dropping me a comment. Of course, I'm always open to that. Anybody who wants to leave any comments, of course, please hit that like button now down here. It takes less than a second, but it really, really helps. And anybody new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've got any questions, of course, I'd love you to drop them in. As today, there was an anonymous one. Please email me, des@dorunning.org.uk. I'll pick them out. And like I've done today, not mention anybody's name, but it's brilliant for subjects like that. If people are just sort of looking to get a little bit of information and my thoughts on how we can take that forward. But anything, absolutely anything. You've seen the variation there. Bank holiday plans, Forest, self-doubt. There's no script here. I just do what's put in front of me, and I get Kay to kind of put this out for me, so I don't know what's coming. Again, it just gives me a chance to just say it as I see it. It means I get it wrong sometimes, but it gives me a chance to say things as I see it, and encourage people in the way I would approach it myself. It's easy sometimes when it's all sort of scripted for you and you know what's coming, because then you just might say the right things. Here, live, I'm under a little bit of pressure to actually be completely honest, but that's great, because that's the way I want it to be. Another comment here from Mr. Door on Tour, my good friend. Hit the like and subscribe button. Of course, do that. I'm trying to build this thing. Door has helped me massively on this channel, and I always thank him. I can't say it enough, but lots of football fans watch this. So whilst I don't always talk about football, of course it's going to creep in. There's people there who are kind enough to follow me and look at what I'm doing. So really, really appreciate that. And of course, every week I look to finish with a throwback question to try and create some interaction. Please drop it in the comments, whether it's live now or whether it's at the end of the video. What does your bank holiday time allow you to do more? I've mentioned today I've been out for a walk, 18 miles. We do something between 17 and 22 miles every bank holiday. We're actually following the Robin Hood way. Check out that playlist. I followed an 112-mile route from Nottingham Castle to Sherwood Forest throughout 2021. A little bit of a challenge, a pilgrimage for me. Did it on my own, but I'm revisiting it now with the guys. But having this extra time at the bank holiday, and thankfully it was at the start of the bank holiday this time. Normally we do it on the Monday, and we were a little bit tired for the rest of the week. But now we've got time to relax for the next few days and really enjoy it. What do your bank holidays allow you to do more? Guys, please support this if you can. There's no wrong answers. All I will do is read out a few responses, just try and inspire, let people know what they're doing might be okay or might not be as weird as they think or quirky, or it might give them an idea just to do something a little bit different. And that's all it's about. That's all Do Daily is about. It's trying to help people understand that essentially we're all kind of the same, aren't we? We just do things that a little bit different at a slightly different time, you know, and we go through our ups and downs, and we have our moments, and we're happy and we're sad, and we need support, and at other times we can fire ahead and do it on our own, and that's all it is. So like I say, please do support the channel. It's just a bit of me trying to be positive, enthusiastic. I won't change, you know, whatever the situation is. I always try to find the positive. I get it wrong, massively get it wrong. It's not me trying to preach or tell anybody what to do, you know, because I don't live a perfect lifestyle myself. I do running, but I'm not an athlete. I talk about issues like mental health, but I'm not a doctor. You know, it's just a normal person trying to be normal to help people understand. My big issues with all of these subjects is people are scared by them because they get blown away with the science. Here, you've just got someone being realistic and raw, and that's all it is. And like I say, I'll be out in the morning, more walking on heavy legs. I'm dreading it in some ways, but it's my routine. It's what I do. It'll wind up the week. It'll wind up the busyness of today and then everything that's gone before, even though it was a different aspect of what I do. And I'll be able to sit back and relax just that little bit because it's the bank holiday. Have a great evening, guys. Please drop us a comment. Please drop us a like. Please drop us a subscribe if you're new. That'd be absolutely amazing. Really appreciate all the support so far. Just doing it.